Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect, where in the previous episode, that's a fight, we finished off the death row facility finally on the top right here. All it was really was the inclusion of the infirmary and the morgue, obviously a couple of tweaks and changes, and then we went ahead and expanded to the left hand side, which gave us two curiously shaped islands, which we then obviously bridged across, put a ferry transport in there, connected up, and then finally put this wall around the outside. Now in this episode we're not going to be doing any building because, well, two reasons. Firstly, I genuinely haven't decided exactly how I want to go ahead and do this island, so I don't know whether we want to have it so the contraband can be thrown in, whether we want to have it very internal so all the stuff on the outside is actually going to be building and there's nowhere for stuff to be thrown in that way, or whether we want to split it up and do another ferry from one side to the other, because we could if we wanted to, and this is something that didn't really come to my mind. We could do an area that's for transfer for medium and low risk with a lot of work, and also an area for, if we go over to prisoners, intake, for criminally insane, which we could turn on. So I haven't yet decided about that. And also there's been a lot of people want to do another extreme testing initiative, because the last time we did one of those we only had this island here, and we obviously did instant fight, riot, that sort of thing, and we saw what happened there. But now we have a lot of other things that we have to worry about. We have obviously the Supermax legendary area up the top, we have a death row on the right, and now we have this island, and I really don't know where the weak spots are. We have seen a couple of escape attempts, no riots or anything, but escape attempts certainly, where people have got to this stage with only one or two people. So I want to see what happens if things go south really, really fast. I have a feeling that this could be a fairly big weak point, but that's why we're going to do these tests, and as I said, it gives me time to sort of work out exactly how we want to accomplish the left hand side. So let's go over to our staff here, and you can see we have all of these options. Now I know a lot of people ask about this, and I normally mention, but I haven't done in a while. If I go to extras and then to the mods, we can see we have the instant riot mod. That's the thing that I'm running. It's quite an old mod, I believe, but it does give us the options for putting on, as I said, the things like instant fight, jailbreak, that sort of thing. So we're going to go for immediately, I think we'll go for the instant jailbreak, because that's the one that we're most likely going to see, and then probably fight riot, and then the really crazy one where everybody gets some weapons. So either way, instant jailbreak, click, and then everyone is now going to try and escape. So we can see that immediately we have a lot of prisoners in here running out. This is work/free time, so the prisoners are not distributed in any particular area, but you can see they are hanging around in the chapel, probably running some of the programs there. There's some people in the canteen, and the main focus is over here. We can see Matt Davies is trying to escape through there. I don't think they'll get very far, but this is the place where I want to look at. So we can see that we have a lot of prisoners who are running past here, and yes, they are trying to escape. They have managed to get a baton, and they're trying to break through this door. It looks like the armed guard who was on free fire, this is how we've set it up, has managed to render 3 people unconscious and 2 people unconscious plus, which means they can't become conscious again. And we have a lot of prisoners who are trying to escape. There we go. I knew there was going to be a lot of escapes out the front here, but I didn't expect the amount of prisoners running this way. That's actually a lot more running there. Let's go to a lockdown, all sectors, because we need to stop them as much as possible. But quite frankly, that's not going to do much, because as you can see, they are currently smashing through that thing. Now this is somewhat that's a bit of a surprise actually. So I expected them to run across these stepping stones. Bear in mind that these are temporary, so it wasn't exactly a full and fair test. I'm just going to go up the top here and see. Yep, looks like nobody's getting out this way. Oh no, we do have a prisoner, Scott Cadwell, who has managed to get out. So they are running to the top here. Let's just remove that to get a bit more screen real estate, and it looks like Scott Cadwell is swimming across. So that is one prisoner who has managed to get out and swim around. If it wasn't for the armed guard around this area, we probably would have seen more of that. And oh, there we are. So yes, we can see that if prisoners have the option to escape, they will escape, and they will escape quite well through this security area. So that's something we're going to have to shore up. So what we'll probably do is have a fence across there, and this is something that I wouldn't have even thought of unless we've done this test. Quite frankly, I wouldn't have thought about that at all. 21 deaths. Wow, it looks like they're just sort of fighting around here. And in terms of escapes, none out the front, but it looks like several of them, even though this is the escape attempt, they've actually ran into the armory and are now fighting in the armory, which is something I didn't expect. Over to our death row, and we can see that Prisoner Davies there is just locked down because of an escape attempt and destruction. So no real issues there. I mean, I didn't expect them. They don't have any... Well, they have Stoke also. They don't really have any traits that we need to worry about. Not fast or fighter or anything like that. But this, and they also are one person, whereas around here we've seen a lot more. So that was interesting. Immediately that's come up with some useful data, so we do need to secure this. Although, to be fair, if we do put a fence across there, and even a fence across there, something like that, they can still swim out there. So it's still not entirely possible for this to be fully secure. At least we've seen that, yes, this is actually a bit of an issue, so we might have to do something about that. But that was the prisoners all wanting to escape, and you can see we have had over 16 escapes there. Actually, it's exactly 16, but there's some more going on. You can see they are... Oh, they were swimming, but they have now stopped. This is Prisoner Darley, who was swimming a little bit there, doing some... I like that. They jumped in the water a little bit and are now here and swimming across. I think they can actually drown, and I'm guessing if they get tased out there, that is possible for that to happen. But no, they managed to escape. Okay, so there was the escape attempt, and that's, as I said, come up with some useful data. As before, we've seen that this area is a fairly big weak spot, but to be fair, they have to then get through here, so not so much. And there's Prisoner Brown, who really doesn't want to escape, more just fight. Okay, so we're going to load it up, and we're going to try now a riot. Okay, let's see what happens if we have an instant riot. That will immediately put all the prisoners onto reverting to takeover behaviour, or they might even run out. That's why we do this, we'll have to see. You can see we've got a lot of the snipers pointing at these other prisoners. My main focus is up here though, and once again we can see that the armed guards that are stationed here with the free fire on are literally taking no prisoners. We have a couple of people that have been knocked out, but the rest of them are either being shot and, well, a lot of them are giving up, to be fair, but none of them are making it out through there, which is what we wanted to see. Several prisoners have once again ran towards the front door. Some of them have taken control of the common room, and some of them are trying to take control of the cell blocks, but no one running out from the security area, and at the moment not many people making it out from the front here, so that's pretty good. We can also see that Prisoner Davies here is just not bothered about the entire affair, and yeah, there's some more prisoners who have given up or have been killed while trying to escape. So that's all sorted up there. So we know that this is fairly secure. We have seen an escape there, but that is fairly secure. For the rest of it, we would expect this to be more problematic just because of the sheer amount of prisoners that we have. There's a lot more prisoners in and around this area. But actually, there's only a couple of areas that they've taken over. The chapel and the common room. So if we call in some emergencies here, and we'll go for some elite operatives, we'll call in 2 elite ops, and I was going to say a paramedic, but I don't think we can do that. There we have our helicopters converging on the centre location there, and we're going to tell them to, well, actually where they're going to go. They're actually heading down right in the centre. Let's see, can we go and select them? Yeah, so we'll say there, you move to there, you move to there, now you move to there. And it's strange that they just move wherever they want. So we've moved the helicopter there, we've moved the helicopter there, and then you go deploy squad, and then finally deploy squad, and we'll have a check out and see them there. So it's go, go, go as they jump out of the helicopter, and we can see that they immediately will just secure any area that needs to be secured, which actually by the time they're being brought in, everything is clear. No riots, and nothing's been taken over. So actually, it's this area has fared better than the previous one, even though it's got the same number of prisoners. But because the legendary prisoners have been moved up to the top, and by extension, a lot of those quite extreme traits, we've seen that this has fared a lot better because we don't have all of those prisoners with the traits that make them, you know, very deadly and able to run out quickly or do a lot of damage to the walls and, you know, take over territory and hold it. So actually, having them separated here has worked out as we would have wanted it to and as it was expected. Okay, let's just start to do something that we wouldn't normally see in a sort of natural occurrence here, and we'll do a straight up fight. What would happen if the prisoners just totally kick off? Okay, let's do an instant fight and see what happens. Now, as I said, I expect there to be a fairly similar sort of thing down the bottom that we've seen previously, but up the top, this is going to be quite bloody because we can see the prisoners all coming towards the armed guards. Obviously, the armed guards are on free fire, and does that mean there's not a lot of them around here? There's only 2 or 3 armed guards, so it's not as if we are making it over the top, and this guy's actually on break, so there you are. A lot of fighting in here, and as you might imagine, a lot of people are being taken out because it's prisoners versus prisoners, not just prisoners v guards. But we can see that some of them have made it through to the security room, and in fact some of them are still going. This is prisoner Clark here, who is not giving up. They got the first shot, and then the second shot took them out, and then they dropped the keys. Again, this has pretty much stopped dead over here. Davy's not too bothered about fighting, and we can see that the guards are where they're running to. We have a lot of guards running. Oh, and there we go. There's prisoner Benjamin Taylor, who is charged through that door that's already open. And, oh, dearie me. So you can see they are now trying to get out. This prisoner here, Ed Marples, was tasered. And it seems that, yeah, they have died in the water there. I wonder if the same is going to happen. No, they managed to escape. So we've had 31 deaths and 1 escape, so the fighting is actually, I don't think it's caused as much fatalities as the riot, which is curious, or if it was, it's around about the same. But once again, we've seen that because the legendary prisoner is not here, and up here instead, and segregated, we've fared a lot better. Okay, and let's go on to the one that is completely artificial and we wouldn't see naturally, but is also quite fun. I say quite fun. It's fun if you like every single prisoner being armed with all assortment of weapons, including drills, handguns, Uzis, M16s, shotguns, everything. Actually, batons as well, and what they would do. So we can see immediately we've got the people at the top here, once again being taken out fairly fast by the armed guards. The armed guards are not having any of it, and also they are able, or they've got body armor on, which is something that the other guys don't get. And that's prisoner Cadwell absolutely unloading in the security room and now being taken out, knocked unconscious there. We have over 35 deaths, and once again prisoners massively focused on getting out, breaking these doors down and then charging this way. And we're probably going to have more escapes here than we would ever have. Again though, the front is not a problem at all. This is all fine. So yeah, this here is certainly a very, very big security risk. Now, admittedly, this is an artificial process here. This is not something you would see naturally within the course of the game, unless you were deliberately trying to induce this either via mods or by putting an armory right in the center and open to the elements. And even then, prisoners wouldn't all go for it for that reason. But we can see that, yes, they want to charge out through this security room, so we might have to redesign that. What we've got out of it is that our changes and putting the prisoners, the Supermax prisoners anyway, to this North Island has worked out, and not pacified, certainly not pacified, but alleviated some of the issues we had with the main island. And also, this here is a security risk. We need to fence it off a bit more, perhaps even remove it entirely, and that connection there, we might just sort of run around to the centre and just, put a little walkway in. That is possible. It's something that we can do. Is it something that we want to do? I'm thinking maybe. This one here is not a huge issue because we've got a door there, door there, door there, and then it leads to the ferry dock, whereas this one is completely open. So I think we have to section that off with some fencing at bare minimum, and then, yeah, we'll see exactly what happens there. What is curious is that it didn't go across these stepping stones, these pallets. I would have thought they would have ran across that, but then again, there's no real need. Their whole objective is to get to the end of the map, and obviously the closest point is around the top there, and then on the bottom here as well, where they just want to charge out. So yeah, we have some data that is useful. We've had a bit of fun, and as I said, it is admittedly, as I said at the start, a bit of a delaying episode while I make my mind up on this one, but I think also has been interesting, hopefully for yourself as well. and provided some useful data. Either way, we're going to leave it there for this episode, and for some reason that sniper who's on break is still targeting this prisoner through walls, so they've got a gun that can see through walls and perhaps even shoot through it. No, actually they're targeting that garbage. Now, I do actually mean this bag of garbage, not Aston Stacey on the right hand side. That would be very judgmental of us. Okay, so we will leave it there while this continues apparently, and next episode we will go ahead and obviously build on the left hand side, or at least plan what we're going to at least attempt. So we'll see how we get on. As always, hope you have enjoyed the video and the series thus far. Comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.